Hello, this is Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall, and today we're going to be building another oldish kind of computer. This is going to be my secondary Windows 98 gaming computer. This is going to kind of complement the Carolina Flyer because this is going to be put in my bedroom. And I'm going to be naming this the Central Carolina computer. And I will explain that name momentarily, but first we need to go over what parts we're going to be using. First, we're going to be using the former Carolina Flyer case, this lovely A-Open blue and white case from the mid-2000s. A little banged up on the front, but I can clean that up soon. And we've gone over the specs of this case before, but it is a very good case. Already has a DVD-ROM drive and a floppy drive in it. The motherboard we will be using is this Asus A7V 8X-X motherboard from the early to mid-2000s. This is a socket A motherboard, so this is AMD based. Under this CPU cooler is a AMD Sempron 1.6 gigahertz. Not the most powerful chip for this kind of system, but it'll do just fine for now, especially since this is only going to be running Windows 98. Got an AGP slot and 6 PCI slots, which is very good for expansion. And it uses this VIA VT8235 chipset. Has PS2 mouse and keyboard, digital out, parallel serial, 4 USB ports, probably 2.0, Ethernet, and onboard audio, which we will not be using. And it has a brand new fresh CMOS battery in it. This motherboard was a very, very generous donation from a viewer of mine. I do not have his YouTube username on hand, but if you're watching this, you know who you are, and I thank you very, very much for this very nice donation. For video, we will be using this very, very standard issue ATI Rage XL. I believe this is based on the Rage 128, so hopefully I'll be able to use the drivers for that. Ooh, that's not good. I just realized this is the wrong type of AGP. Uno momento. Okay, change of plans. We will actually be using this NVIDIA GeForce 4MX video card because this one will actually fit into this slot. Now, you may recall in this year's previous Nostalgia Mall Christmas where I featured the Carolina Flyer in a video, I was using this video card in it, and I did have some pretty bad issues with it, with certain games. But hopefully that's probably just related to the video drivers that I was using, so I'm thinking if I use some older drivers, I may have better luck with this. So we will see what happens. Oh yeah, we also have one stick of 512 megs of DDR1. For sound, we will be using this A-Open sound card, which features the Yamaha XG sound chip. And this card is a good card in that it is very, very compatible with MS-DOS games. And it has very good sounding MIDI. The MIDI in DOS sounds accurate like a Sound Blaster 16 would. And it's all on a modern PCI card, so definitely a good sound card. I highly recommend it. And for a hard drive, we'll be using this 80GB Hitachi Desk Star, which I've already partitioned and made a partition full of games and other data, so that's already been taken care of. And for a power supply, don't want to drop it. We'll be using this FSP Group 560 watt power supply. Actually, what am I saying? It's 300 watt, I believe. this is what happens when you don't rehearse beforehand. But whatever it is, this power supply will do very well with this computer. So, let's go ahead and put this all together. Okay, first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and install the hand slicer, I/O shield. Seriously, these things are deadly. You gotta be careful. Wouldn't be something if I did wind up slicing my hand on this on video. Oh, there we go. That was easier than normal. So that has been taken care of. Now, just because it can get kind of hectic starting and pausing the video while building these computers, I think I might just go ahead and prop the tripod up on the workbench and just do a sped up version of me assembling this computer. How about that? Ooh, and I just realized I need to get some IDE and floppy cables. I should probably go find some. But anyway, let us proceed with the build. Okay, I'd like to apologize for the very bad camera angles you saw during the time-lapse there. It's a little bit harder to do this than I thought with filming it on camera and building it at the same time and having to position everything, especially the way this room's kind of designed. But anyway, for what you missed, I installed the motherboard, the hard drive, and I connected the front panel I/O, which is probably horribly wrong because I'm never good at that for some reason. And I've installed the video card, the sound card, and I added a USB 2.0 card mainly because I was missing a slot blank. So that's the only real reason I put it in there, but it doesn't hurt to have extra USB ports. And of course there's the power supply. And I tucked some of the cables back behind there from the power supply that I'm not using. And here's how the I/O looks on the back. Already got it connected. So, moment of truth. I did already test this board the other day when I got it in the mail, and I already know that it does work. So it's just a matter of everything being connected properly. So, turn the switch on there. And let's see what works and does not work. Well, that puts me full of a lot of confidence. Yeah, it's got to be the, oh wait. Nope. Can't be that lucky. So, well, the board's getting power at least. So I think it's just a matter of the front panel I/O being improperly connected. What a surprise. So let me take care of that off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, I moved the power connector, well, the front panel power connector around a little bit, so nothing. And that's because I was stupid and forgot to plug this in. I do not claim to be a professional. Okay, here we go for real. Well, power's on, but we don't have LEDs. I will take care of that later. But we got a post beep. And of course there isn't an operating system on it. Of course, I don't even know if the hard drive is being picked up or not. We need to go into setup. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, it's picking up the hard drive. I wasn't sure about that. And DVD drive is being picked up. And I did hear the floppy drive seek a while ago, so... And I've already configured things in the BIOS the other day when I tested the board out of the case, so... we should be good to go to install an OS. Only problem with this CPU fan I'm using is that no matter what I do, it always sounds like a vacuum cleaner. But at least it works, so... Anyway, let's button this computer back up and start loading Windows. Okay, Windows has been successfully installed, no trouble at all, although I had trouble getting the mouse to work during setup, but it's working now. So what we need to do now is install the driver to use USB flash media on this computer on Windows 98, because it doesn't work out of the box on here. So go to the floppy disk drive. And we'll load up this. Alright, here we go. Close out of that and take the disk out. Computer boots pretty quick, I must say. And what's interesting about this computer is, according to system properties in Windows, it sees it as an Athlon XP, which this is actually a Sempron, but Semprons might be based off of a Athlon XP, and maybe that's what Windows is seeing it as. I don't know. I'm not up to speed on 2000s era AMD CPUs. I used Intel back then. Don't anymore, except on my laptop. My desktop uses a Ryzen 7 now, which is AMD. So we'll go ahead and plug the flash drive up and see if the front panel USB works. And it does. This is a 128 gig flash drive, which is enormous for Windows 98. Okay, hopefully these drivers work. Asus still had the drivers on the on their website. So first, let's just copy these to the desktop, since we'll be installing chipset drivers. All right, let's start with the chipset. And hopefully this will work, because I've never really used this motherboard before. Hopefully I've got all the right drivers, but this did come from Asus's website, so it is designed for this motherboard, so I don't see why it wouldn't work. Yeah, we'll let it do all that. So we'll go ahead and restart since it's a chipset driver. Just keep everything all nice and smooth, I hope. Okay, no 6-foot flames yet. And of course, when you install a chipset driver on Windows 98, it installs every single bit of the motherboard one by one, which has always amused me for some reason. And sometimes it needs your own input, like now. I didn't do too much that time. So next we will install our network card, which also uses a VIA chip. So it's VIA all around on this computer. Network. Okay, maybe I gotta do it through here. Yeah. Come on. Never could get the hard drive LED to work on this board. It looked like it's connected properly, but I don't know. And we'll take a huge risk here and install the USB 2.0 driver, which is risky because Windows 98 can be a little bit finicky with USB 2.0. A lot of times I've installed USB 2.0 drivers in Windows 98 and it's destroyed the entire OS install. It can be that risky. But thankfully we just now installed Windows, so we won't have much to lose. Okay, Windows still boots. And network is working apparently. So it's going to install some more USB 2.0 stuff. And this is just for the onboard USB. Not the PCI card I put in. Okay, what else? We've got the network installed, a chipset, USB 2, and that's all for the motherboard related drivers. So let's see if we can get audio working. And this is the driver for our sound card. This is a very, very nice card, by the way. Okay, that's good enough. Now, I found this driver on Phil's Computer Lab for the video card. Phil's Computer Lab's website. It supposedly works with this card. This is a driver from 2002. I had been using a driver from 2005. So, with this being a bit older, hopefully it still supports this video card. Well, there's only one way to find out. Setup was unable to locate any NVIDIA graphics chip on this system. Oh, good grief. Well, why do you want to restart if you didn't install anything? That's dumb. So yeah, looks like I'm going to have to go hunting for other video drivers. I had a feeling this would happen. Hold on. Okay, went back to Phil's Computer Lab's website and downloaded another one. This one is from sometime in 2003, so maybe we'll have better luck with this one. Okay, it's actually installing this time. So let's see if we get high resolution. Even if this does work, it doesn't guarantee it'll be fully functional, because if you recall on this video card previously on Windows 98, when it was in the Carolina Flyer, I would get errors and glitches on certain computer games. And I'm hoping that using an older driver may help remedy that. Alright, looks like it's a darker shade of green now on the desktop. And of course, it's got to reset everything with the monitor. Well, I forgot. I wonder if the audio is working now. Yep, it's picking that up. We're looking good so far. Now, of course, this isn't this computer's permanent spot. I actually have it in place of the Carolina Flyer right now. Sound works, yes. And sorry for shaking the camera. This is only a temporary spot just to set things up, and eventually this computer will be going into my bedroom. So, are we done with drivers? Oh, welcome to NVIDIA InView Setup Wizard. Huh, I wonder what this is. I've never seen that. I'll disable it just for now. That might be something for like virtual desktops. That'd be interesting in Windows 98. Alright, there's our driver, MX440. And our network card. I need to configure it to connect to my 2000 domain. There's our sound card. This motherboard does have onboard audio, but it's a little too new for my taste for a Windows 98 system. In fact, I'm pretty certain it doesn't support anything DOS related. So we can go ahead and delete those drivers from the desktop. And we will raise the monitor resolution to 1280 by 1024. And we'll up the color depth as well to 32-bit. Still do not know why that hard drive LED is not functional. I know I got it in the right spot. There we go. That is a successful Windows 98 install. So I will be spending the rest of the evening installing all my applications and games on this computer. I am very pleased with this build, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Okay, I was not very satisfied with the way I originally intended to end this video, so I've decided to show this computer up and running in its new home here in the bedroom. Apologies for the very messy floor. You don't need to comment on that. And here is the monitor I'm using with it. And everything is working great on here, except a big thing. I cannot get DOS sound to work at all, even in Windows. This is very annoying. So I will restart into DOS mode. And it works a little bit better in DOS mode, but not quite. In fact, it doesn't work nearly well enough for me to consider this a successful build. As a matter of fact, it's not even working at all now. So, I will show you the setup utility that you're supposed to use for the sound card to get it to work in DOS. And we get this lovely error. INTA pound did not assigned IRQ. And you can see that Sound Blaster digital audio is not available because of some kind of weird IRQ problem. That it's not. It seems like it's not wanting to assign an IRQ for a certain part of the sound card, and that's very annoying. And I have, of course, Googled this error, but since this is such an old sound card and such an obscure problem, it's impossible to find any solutions to this. And in fact, it looks like I did read somewhere that there could be an incompatibility with the south bridge on the motherboard, so that could be an issue. So it looks like I may have to look into trying another sound card, which at this point I don't have any other options. So looks like right now I'm going to have to forego playing DOS games on this system, which is a real pain in the butt. As a matter of fact, here's the entire setup I have right here, and it is a bit cramped. And as much as I would love to have this computer next to my laptop, I may have to KVM it with the Gateway 2000 over there, just because it's making my working space on this desk a bit too cramped. So, a lot of the plans I had for this computer are not really working out, I'm sad to say. Sound card not functioning properly, and the work area is a bit too cramped for this setup. And I am out of Ethernet cables to use for this computer, and I don't have an Ethernet connection in here. They're all used up. So this is going splendidly, isn't it? Oh, everything just runs so great on this computer. Well, technically it does. Everything does work great on here. It's just DOS gaming is not really ideal on this system right now. So I may have to look into purchasing another Sound Blaster Audigy. I have a Sound Blaster Audigy 2, but I've seemed to not be able to find Windows 98 drivers for it. And even if I did, it might be too new to do anything DOS related. So, yeah, I hate to end this video on a sour note, but I also wanted to mention why I'm calling this the Central Carolina computer. That's because this is in between two of my retro-style custom builds. One of them hasn't even been built yet. This is newer. This has newer hardware than the Carolina Flyer has, and it has older hardware than my upcoming Windows XP build has. I'm still waiting on parts for that system. So that explains the name of the computer. So hopefully next time you see this computer, I will have sorted the DOS sound issue. If anyone has any ideas on what's keeping the sound from working properly in DOS, please let me know. So until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also support me on Patreon if you would like. The link to all of these are down below. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.